Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Drop Lob pod. We might call this an emergency episode. Uh, my co-host Edic over here, he's been busy as of late, but the French Open simply forced us into talking about it. So here we are. So I'm Nathan, and welcome in, Edic. Finally back with some new hair, I see.
That's
Uh,
right, baby. We're back. And what I wanted to say just to start things off is I know that people have forgotten about tennis. They're watching the NBA finals and the World Cup is coming up. But here's the thing. Tennis is the hardest sport and it has the best athletes. And I don't care what anybody says, okay? You got matches going 5 hours and 58 minutes. You got matches going 5 hours and 30 minutes. 7-6, where you're having to win 190 points. Today, Collignon and Arnaldi, first 9 points in 5 hours in, were all winners. You have to be able to last over 5 hours, but also be quick in between the points. Physical, mental, you're by yourself, no team. Come on, man. Let's stop the discussion. Unless you're a fighter or a boxer, tennis is the hardest sport and it has the best athletes, period.
what did Colton do after those nine winners? I think he won one more point for the rest of that tiebreaker, if not zero. But
Arnaldi stepped up, man. He stepped up.
he did step up. He hasn't been getting a lot of respect, but I mean, at this point, well, we'll discuss how the draws got into where it got. So, speaking of what you just said about how tennis has the best athletes and they're lasting 5 hours, 6 hours on court, one might stand to say that if there's a player that can't last 5 to 6 hours on court in this scenario, that no matter how good you are at tennis, that physical component can catch up to you and be the great equalizer. Um, and in this case, it finally caught up to the player that seemed like they had no chinks in the armor, no weaknesses, no way they could be beaten. The biggest favorite to win a major odds on since 2009 French Open with Rafa Nadal, or I believe that might have been the one he lost to Soderling, actually. So
Yeah.
something to be said to that. But Yannick Sinner, you want to take people through what happened there?
Sure. I mean, Yannick Sinner was up 2 sets to love and 5-1 against Juan Manuel Cerundolo, cruising for all, seemingly cruising. And then all of a sudden, it looks like he starts getting some cramps. He starts slapping. He lost at least like 13 points in a row at one point. Um,
17.
yeah, 17 points, and then ends up losing the second set 7-5 and
Third.
sorry,
Third
the
set.
third set 7-5 and then the fourth set and fifth set 6-1. Now I gotta say, it's just a little bit weird. My friend Joseph Kevin said, "Do you think that there might have been some foul play here?" If you are a high level tennis player and you're up 5-1 and you're Sinner, and he wasn't full cramping, he was just mildly cramping, and even he said it wasn't cramping. How do you not win 4 points? Like it's baffling to me. The fact that he lost from 4-1 from 5-1 up is just it's so crazy. And if I were him, I would have just full cramped. I would have went for it. You can feel it coming on, right? You probably know that you're not going to be able to fight through it. Why don't you just go for it? I mean, that happened to me once at the when I was playing in Florida and I went to the hospital. Like, you're gonna have the medics to help you. You might as well go for it in full cramp and win the match. Um, Instead, he tries to
Yeah.
get through it. He takes bathroom breaks. He does his usual crap. He gets the preferential treatment, just like Djokovic. But this guy has got to figure it out. And what's even crazier is it wasn't even a hard match up until that point. Imagine if he
Yeah.
was in a difficult match, he would have cramped in the second set. So,
Yeah, he was up 6-3, 6-2, 5-1 there. And also he did get to like go back to the locker room at 5-4 love 40. Like they let him leave in the middle of the game, get treatment. I think myself and everyone else kind of just assumed it's the classic center treatment. He's going to go pull some bullshit. He's going to come back fine. But I mean, for what it's worth, credit to Juan Manuel, who, like, I mean, he stuck in there. Did he have to do much? Not necessarily. But there are plenty of players that would have mentally checked out, and even with that, like coming on, would have just figured the match is over. It's Yannick Sinner and just kind of tossed that last game. He had to fight. He had to put balls in the court. He still had to be relatively airless. I was kind of discussing with a buddy what UTR level do you think Sinner, like mostly cramping, played at for the remainder of that match? Like I kind of equated it to maybe like a 11, 12, maybe.
Nah, I don't know. It's hard to tell, but at that point, he's pretty much not gonna, beat anyone if you're just slapping away like that.
Yeah,
I do hear commentators, which are so annoying, saying like, oh, the physical part, like, this just really shouldn't be happening. It's a shame because he's a way better player. Like, if you take the physical out, Sinner's gonna beat him every single time. Well, guess what? The physical part is one of the most important things. And our boy Cerundolo proved that. And not only that, off the back of that, he wins a 5 hour and 58-minute match. It doesn't even look tired. So nobody's
yeah,
giving the guy enough credit. I'm here giving him credit. He's a physical beast. Like that's one of the longest Grand. I'm looking it up right now. That's one of the longest Grand Slam matches ever. It's
yeah.
like definitely top 20.
And,
The
and
14th.
not only that, the mental fortitude once again, because he was up 2 sets, 5-3 against Martin Landelus today. He blows it. He goes down a break 3-0 in the final set, gets that back. He's up a mini break in the tiebreaker, goes down a mini break 8-6, then pulls out 4 straight points to win it. Like he blew it, he came back, he blew it, he came back, but like that takes a lot.
Yep.
And honestly, the South Americans, man, I mean, I've been saying this during the tournament, but Paris, I saw on TV just now, it's reached like 4 record heat days during this first week. The South Americans have really been benefiting from that. It seems like the heat that they train in, like I've watched the Argentinians are really happy. Joao has come back from 2 sets down, 2 matches in a row. We'll talk about that in a minute. Alejandro Tobio actually might have had the easiest draw of all time, him and Zverev within all this chaos. But yeah, like there are a lot of South Americans kind of going deep, and I definitely think that the weather has a direct role to play in that. But yeah, speaking of that, I think the next biggest storyline probably on the men's side after the Yannick Sinner collapse, which by the way, probably the biggest sports upset in history if you take it from the live line at that point, and probably a top 5 craziest event I've ever seen happen in sports. Um, but secondly, Paul Fonseca, who's been getting hype well above his playing level and well above his results level for about the last year and a half. It's kind of finally stepped it up. Was down 2 sets to Dino Krizmek in the second round, came back and won. Went down 2 sets again against the GOAT, Novak Djokovic. After Sinner was eliminated and the draw seemed open, manages to fight his way back and finishes the match out with 3 aces in a row down break point 6-5 in the fifth. Um, has he arrived? And how impressive was these victories?
Listen, I don't know if he'll win the tournament. He probably won't win the tournament, but to see him come back from 2 sets to love 2 rounds in a row, you want to see heart, you want to see the fight, you want to see that in the moment of truth, you're going for it. And he finished the match with 3 aces. You can't get better than that. You can't do better than that. And obviously, you have to back it up. But for him to do it, that's the first step. That's all you can ask. So incredibly impressive. I know all those Djokovic fans out there are crying. Keep crying because he's not going to win number 25. He's not going to do it, guys. But I'm also equally as impressed with Rafa Hodar, the Spaniard, taking out Mickelson. These guys are growing up, in front of us. And like I texted you, I want to know who the best young
Oh,
player is.
by the way, Attic, you left a very key name off of that list because we just don't think of him as being as young since he's kind of been succeeding a little bit longer. Jakub Menchik, like he's in the fourth round, man. He's
Yeah, but you didn't let me finish though. I was gonna get there. He's in
okay.
his yeah, he's young too. He barely came through the early rounds. So yeah, that's what I want to know, and I want a young person to take this tournament. Don't give me no Zverev, don't give me no Andrei Rublev or
No,
or
Rublev.
Casper Ruud. I don't want to see any of that because you know what? It doesn't do anything for me for the future. We got Carlos, we got Sinner. I need a couple other people there. And you know what? Hopefully, we'll get some of these people like Landaluce, the young guy, the young French kid that will be like the Songas and the Soderlings and the Gasquets. We've been missing this because Tsitsipas sucks, Zverev sucks, Medvedev sucks, TM sucked, Rublev sucks, Rude sucks. You want me to keep going?
Listen, I know
Tommy
you
Paul
hate
sucks.
I know you hate him with an absolute passion, and I know he can't win more than
Demonar
2 games off
sucks.
of Sinner to save his life. But Zverev deserves to be in a league outside of at least the same conversation
Listen,
as
man.
Tsitsipas right now.
When this tournament went to shambles, I said neither Djokovic nor Zverev are going to win the tournament. I stand by that because Zverev has a bad back. It's well documented. He's trying to get shots for it. He got stem cells. Berrettini's winning the tournament. And I don't want to hear it from anyone. I don't
Not
want to
even the
hear it
best
from Tommy
Italian in this
Paul.
side of the draw.
I don't want to
Arnaldi
hear it
and Caboli are both better.
I don't want to hear it from Tommy Paul or Felix or Tiafo about, oh, I never won a Grand Slam. I played with the big three and then Alcaraz and Sinner came. No, this is your chance. And if you mess it up, you're never getting it again.
I can definitely agree with that, and I think that all of them. I think that honestly, right now, obviously Felix has the most open draw of any player.
He
He's
lost the
sitting,
first set. And
but
Tiafo,
he's up for it. So right now we're podcasting live during the Felix match. He's actually up, I believe, 5-0 in the second set
yeah.
against
And
Nakashima.
Tiafo lost the first two sets.
I
Classic.
don't think we expected Tiafoe to win this, and Jaime Faria is probably a better clay player than Brandon Nakashima, in my opinion. I think that
Yeah.
Felix has got the easy draw. I think we've got some players that have won titles. I think that players that win titles are inherently going to more have a better chance in this. The odds right now are reflecting Zverev's big favorite, Rune in second, Hodar in third, Fonseca in fourth, all four of whom are on the same side of the draw. The fifth best odds were Franz Cerundolo. He lost today, which I believe is like putting Felix at sixth now. But yeah, like the odds are basically reflecting that the stack side of the draw should win, but Felix should be
Yeah,
able to walk his way through.
that
We've got
top half,
Capoli, we've
that
got
top half
Tabula.
is going to be Berrettini, Arnaldi, and then Felix against Caboli. That's your quarters
I
right
mean,
there.
Capoli gets a real quick. We can give a shout out to Zachary Spida. The biggest surprise of the French Open by and far has won 2 matches as a 7-1 underdog against Poppyrin and then again today against Francisco Cerundolo. Took out Adam Walton in between there in 4 sets. A guy that barely wins any matches come clay season most years, and whose previous most recent result before this tournament was a loss in the first round of an ATP 250 qualifier to world number 550 in straight sets 2-2. Just a testament to how random tennis can be and how any guy can pick it up on any given week. Does he stand a chance on God's green earth of doing anything against Cavoli, or is he eliminated?
Yes, because Caboli sucks.
Fair play. I'd love to see him make a deep run. I don't think he can touch the Casper Ruuds or Zverevs if God forbid he makes it through there, but we'll see. Um, I will also say Zverev has had what one might call a cakewalk draw. First round Benjamin Bonzi, second round Thomas Mahaj, who is a very good player, but who, much like Sinner, struggles greatly in the hot conditions. We are noticing though a lot of guys from those like cold countries like the Czech Republic where Mensik and Mahaj have both just been dying in the heat. Um, I personally would love to see an Andrei Rublev title, by the way. He's a likable guy. He struggled for so long.
It's just not going to happen. You got to be realistic.
I don't foresee it. I think the Casper Ruud really does have by and
Casper
far the
has a
second
chance.
best.
Listen, I'll take Casper over Zverev. Here's the thing,
I
and
would too.
I told you this over text. Even if Zverev wins, which he's not,
It's
what
an
does it
asterisk
prove?
title
It
too.
doesn't prove anything. He didn't beat anyone. Okay. He's definitely not going to play anybody, of relevance to win the final. And at this point, it's really all mental. Because at this point, like I said, the level's like at ATP 500. All it is
Yeah.
best out of five. So if he can't do it, and when he doesn't do it, I will come back on here and say, I told you, because he's a mental midget.
The
Mr.
weak side of the draw
57
has become an
miles per
ATP
hour.
250, by the way.
You think it's
Like
250 level?
the weak side of the draw right now, Juan Cerundolo versus Matteo Berrettini, Zach Spida versus Flavio Caboli, and then we're gonna get like Jaime Faria, Matteo Arnaldi, Alejandro Tavio, and Felix.
I mean, that's the challenger before Indian Wells right there.
Minus
Seriously,
Felix. Yeah, that's a 250. That's a 250.
seriously.
That's like if you split the ATP out into guys who are playing four different tournaments in a week, that's probably about what your draw ends up looking like.
So
And I
if
mean
yeah,
that's fine though. At the end of the day, like we can both agree, I think tennis needed this though.
it's
Tennis
way
needed
more
the Sinner
interesting.
loss.
It's
Tennis
way
needed
more
the
interesting.
open draw. People have to remember the last nine majors in a row were won by Alcaraz and Sinner.
Yeah.
That's over 2 years of the inevitability of two guys winning. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think that maybe only one or two of those saw a matchup that wasn't those two playing against each other. So it is great to see tennis open up. It does really suck the way that it has opened up. I would have much rather seen two guys play great matches than Alcaraz have a concerning wrist injury and Sinner die in the heat. Um, but
We got here in the end, and it's way more
yeah, and I,
interesting.
I will mention real quick for those that don't know, because we haven't been here to provide them with their tennis news in the last month. Carlos Alcaraz, how concerned are you about the wrist injury? It's a career killer for Team, for Kyrgios, for Del Potro. Something that's probably one of the biggest injuries you can have in tennis. He withdraws from the French Open. People are very concerned. He's now withdrawn from Wimbledon as well. Obviously, I'm not Carlos Alcaraz, nor am I close to his camp, but I can't imagine this is remotely good news.
Yeah. I know that this is one of the topics you wanted to talk about, so I'll parlay into it. But yeah, it's very concerning because wrist is one of the most concerning injuries. But I told you it's because he's playing too much golf and partying way too much. I have serious doubts about Alcaraz and his desire, not his desire, but just he's just such an annoying person to be a fan of, you know? He's just disappointing. He's disappointing. But it is, helping him that Sinner loses because right now, Sinner losing while Alcaraz is out is a big tell that like if you can't beat the field when Alcaraz is out, like that's not going to help your stock at the end. And like I get it. Sinner's won all the Masters. And he was on that streak, but he lost to Djokovic, an old Djokovic at the Australian Open, and then
Yeah.
did this. So, like, all in all, not that impressive. Also
Is
lost the French Open last year, also lost the US Open. Like, he is just the best 2 out of 3 set player in.
Yeah, but the goat stock is dropping for sure. Like at
Yeah,
the end of his
yeah.
career, when we're playing the goat conversation, this is he's gonna have to basically win about a year's extra worth of majors to make up for an event like this happening. And that's what's like crazy to say it because it's like an unbelievably massive accomplishment. But the big three before just set such a high bar. It's like Novak beat him when he was in his prime. He's now choked up match point at the US Open to Alcaraz, up 3 championship points to Alcaraz, 2 sets in 5-1. Every time you have a major collapse that people can bring up to discredit your accomplishments, you got to win a little bit more. There's just,
Yep.
it's getting more and more difficult for him. And that's not to say that a guy that's going to
Keep in
be a
mind,
multi-hundred millionaire at the end of his career with all the accolades he could ever want won't just be satisfied and not care. But if he's the type of guy that cares about how he's perceived by the general public, he's going to have to work a little bit harder. Um,
it almost reminds you of
we
someone
might
that
have
people
lost.
call the GOAT. I lost you, but I'm going to continue.
I'm here.
Roger Federer also choked a lot, and people don't want to bring that up. But Roger, your beloved Roger, is a choker.
Well, that's why I'm an Nadal fan because he's pretty clutch. Um, We will real quick. We will touch on the women's side as well. They are still playing a tournament, and their side has also been quite exciting as well. It's just not the men's side because we were waiting for so long for a draw to open up as it has right now. But Jess Pagula up 2 sets or up a set, a break, love 40 against Kimberly Burrell, who rarely wins a single match on clay season, much like a Zach Spide on the women's side, comes back and beats Jess in three. We had Elena Rybakina go out to Yulia Starodubtseva, who then proceeded to lose to world number 150 Zhu Wing in straights in the next round. We have who else has gone out that's big name? I mean, Maddie Keys,
Coco
thank
Golf.
goodness, yeah, Maddie Keys, thank goodness, just pulled through against Victoria Mboko despite being up a set in 3-0 and then 5-2 in the fifth. Pulled it out 7-5. And then yeah, Coco Gauff, reigning champion, lost to Anastasia Potapova today after being up a break 3-1 in the third set, lost at 6-4. Edic and I've discussed it a million times, so there's no need to go through it again. Coco's an incredible athlete. She's an incredible defender. But when it comes down to pure tennis skill with the forehand and with the serve, she still can't figure it out to save her life. It gets ugly at times. It got ugly today. Potapova has also been on fire as of late. Beat the crap out of Coco here, beat Rybakina in the previous tournament, beat Muchova in the previous tournament. Muchova also out, straight set loss to Jill Teichmann, up 5-1 in the second set. She loses 6 straight games. So wild stuff happening on both ends of the tournament. But the women still see, oh, Amanda Anisimova out today to Dion Perry. That was another crazy one in a third set breaker. The French woman takes her out. So we've got Iga, we've got Sabalenka, we've got Mira, we've got Svitolina. Out of those four, who are you marking as your front runner? And do you think all four of them stand a chance at winning?
Great question. Before I answer it, I just want to say Potapova is very easy on the eyes, and that's why we love her. Listen, I could be a very happy man by the end of next Sunday, as long as on the men's side, Zverev doesn't win, and on the women's side, Sabalenka or Krajeva don't win. I can't believe I'm freaking rooting for Osaka, who beat the love of my life, Iva Jovic, the last or today, to beat Sabalenka. No, I like Iga, even though she's in a very tough part of the draw, but I also wouldn't be surprised if someone like Bencic just clean sweeps and beats everybody. Obviously Sabalenka is the odds-on favorite. But
Yeah.
I'll go with Iga for right now. I'll go with Iga.
Yeah, she's just playing so poorly. And I will say then I was going to give you a second tier of contenders with Maddie Keys, who obviously won a major last year, Naomi Osaka, who gets Sabalenka in the round of 16, but she's won four. We've got Bencic, as you said, who just kind of hasn't really been in like tip top form this year, but like still can beat anyone.
Yeah.
Marta Kostyuk, who's playing Iga next round, she tends to give the top players some struggles from time to time. But I believe Iga does own that head to head confidently 4-0 and actually has not lost a set in any of those four. So I'm expecting Iga to come through that one pretty easily. I mean, you know, I'm a Mira fan, you know, you hate her. So I'd like to see her.
She's gonna lose to Kristea.
I could see that, although she did kind of beat the crap out of her the last time they played her. I
Doesn't
think even
matter.
the last two
Doesn't
times
matter. It's a
they played.
grand slam. Krajeva fails in grand slams.
We will see. I mean, everybody's good. I would have said that Juan Fonseca doesn't show up on big stages 4 days ago, and now I've completely flipped my perception. So that's kind of what the biggest stage is for. You never know who's going to step up to the plate on any given day, any given tournament.
It's
But
different
our
because
only
João Fonseca has that Brazilian blood in him. Yeah.
he
Just like
also just
really.
is he the biggest ball striker on men's tour right now?
No, Sinner by far.
There, second.
Depends. This is a tricky conversation because you could get into like, are you talking about flatness or are you talking about weight of shot?
I would say comment just who hits the ball so hard that the other person just can't hit it back in the court, even when it's not a pure winner. Like who's forcing the most unforced errors because they hit such a quote unquote big ball.
It's a good question. I think someone like Berrettini hits pretty big.
That's true off one wing. His
Yeah.
backhand's non-existent.
Oh, it's so funny how Berrettini's gonna win the French Open with the same backhand that I have. Okay. It's crazy how much of a weakness it is. But boy, oh boy, if you have a serve, and of course we know that serve is the most important shot by far, not even close. It's not an argument, just like how tennis is the best sport and hardest. Um, Forehand is super important. And you can really get away with having a bad backhand.
It
Um,
is true. Also, for those that enjoy betting odds, Berrettini's barely even a favorite for this next match against Juan Manuel Cerundolo. So the bookies they do not agree with you that he's going to be winning it all, but we will see.
I
That
don't
side
know
of the
anything.
draw
Do
is
you
just
honestly? I don't even know. I don't know anything about betting, but I know I should have bet on him when I was telling everyone after the second round that he was going to win, and I would have made 10,000. But do you think that these people putting the lines know anything about tennis? They don't
they
know.
got supercomputers. They don't need to know
I
anything.
don't. You think a computer knows more than I do about the ins and outs of tennis? No. Fuck no. Come
I'm
on.
intrigued. I think it might be able to. I think it might be able to take you out. But anyway, hottest predictions for the second week before we go into some drop or lob because it's just wide open on both sides. Like so much crazy stuff has happened. Most five setters, I believe, in the first week of a major on the men's side, the women's side seeing upsets. Like what crazy predictions do you have for week two going forward? I
Barrett.
need at least one from each side, and I don't want to hear the Berrettini wins the men's side because I've heard it from you four times already.
Okay.
Need something more
Zverev
interesting.
is not going to make the final,
All right.
and Bencic will make the final,
All right. Ooh, that is
which
very
goes
interesting.
against my prediction of Iga, but you asked me for a hot take. And
I did.
when you said hot, I was just thinking about Potapova. Sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking about Alexandre Mueller losing in the first round of this like qualifying out here, and how at least one of the people I picked to fall off fell off
I'm sorry,
finally.
isn't Darderi like 14 or 15 in the world?
He lost in like the second round to Comasagna though, and
And dude,
Baez, he was good for 2 weeks.
it
He can't
doesn't
play anymore.
matter. Your
He
prediction's
can't
still
play anymore.
wrong because
He
of
can't
that.
play anymore.
He beat
Baez
Taylor
sucks
Fritz.
now. He lost to Boris Shaga and he retired. He couldn't even do
I
it the Heat.
forgot. I forgot. Taylor Fritz sucks too.
Oh yeah, dude. We can talk about that for a quarter second. Nasesh Basavaridi drop shotted Taylor Fritz about 60 times in a four-set match, and Taylor Fritz did not adjust one single time the whole match. I mean, he looked infuriated, but he didn't stop standing 10 feet behind the baseline and he never read the drop shot. Then Nasesh went on to lose to Alex Mickelson, who went on to lose to Hodar. And I will also say, did Daniil Medvedev blow the best chance of his career to ever do anything on clay by losing to Adam Waltz in the first round as a like freaking 50-1 favorite? That had to be his best shot to do something, unless he was just getting double bagelled by Berrettini again on it.
It's just that era of tennis from like 2017 to like 2022, 2023, where they all sucked and he somehow got a slam and team somehow got a slam. Team was actually good. He just got injured.
Yeah,
Team was good.
wrist injury. Look out,
Yeah.
Alcaraz. I want him to come back 100% more than anything, by the way. And clearly, medicine's always advancing. We've seen the basketball players with torn ACLs come back like nothing happened. So
Yeah.
hopefully that happens. My bold predictions before we drop your lob. I'm going to give Alejandro Tabio a final spot on the men's side. His first round was a straight set victory against Kamil Majrzak, got a withdrawal from Bastro in the second round, and then he won in four against Moise Kwame here in the third round. Hasn't really broken much of a sweat in a tournament where almost everybody else has just been going five sets all the time. On the women's side, I'm giving Mira Andreeva a championship. I want to see it happen. I'm going to speak it into existence. And with that being said, I think we actually have a very good drop or lob segment today. I'm going to drop our last one I put on the notes, so you're about to be surprised by one that's a pretty funny topic. Are you ready?
Yeah, but sorry, did we talk about how tennis is the hardest sport? Did we talk about that yet?
We talked about that, and you can
Because
give a
some
little
people
close. You can
say,
give a closing remark. You can give a closing remark about it as well if
okay,
you'd like.
okay.
All right. So drop or lob, auto reseeding after each round of a grand slam. So the high seed's always playing the lowest to avoid this kind of draw unevenness that we have here after the center upset.
No, major drop. I think that's the worst idea of all time. That's the luck of the draw, right? And you
Yeah.
get these names, these people like Cerundolo, etc. Yeah. No,
I
major
I
drop.
love that answer. That's the answer of a true competitor, but I think that people would disagree. We already went over it, but Alcaraz stock has risen despite him not playing this tournament, just due to the things that happened to
Lob
him.
100%. And Sinner lost a lot of points. Obviously, Alcaraz lost a lot of points too, but it's like now he's still in contention. And I'll tell you what. If even if Sinner wins Wimbledon and he gets to five, but then Alcaraz comes back and wins the US Open, and if he wins the World Tour Finals, then you're looking at your year like this is amazing, you know? Uh,
Yeah.
so he's still got a shot, but boy, is he disappointing. And I don't want to see one picture of him on the golf course ever again. not just once he comes back, but in his whole life.
He didn't hurt his wrist on the golf course,
He
though, did he?
did. Confirmed.
Really?
Confirmed.
Confirmed from where?
My sources, which you know are good.
That is insane if true.
It's
Insane
true.
if true. That was the most important thing we've heard all episode right there.
It's true. How does my tan look, by the way, Nathan? How does my tan look?
Don't worry, I'm gonna comment on it. I'm gonna comment on it at the end. I had something ready. Dropper lob. Would Nadal, crippled Nadal, no hair, no limbs left on his body, would he still make the finals in the French Open on this weak side of the draw in his current state? I know you had discussed we'll give him 3 months of training and not the type of training that injures him, which is about 90% of the training he does these days. But assuming he manages to stay healthy through a couple months of training, dropper lob, he makes the finals.
100%, no question about it. 100%. 2 months. I was talking about this with Ugo. And again, these people, I think McEnroe said it a couple years ago. He was like, "Oh, Sinner and Alcaraz are better than Nadal." Stop. Stop this conversation. Stop. Stop. Like, this is not true. Just because people are hitting harder and faster now doesn't mean they're better. Nadal at the end of his career worked Sinner. People like Chilich, who were the old generation, were beating, young up and comers in Australia. Let's stop this conversation. Nadal, Djokovic. I mean, Djokovic just beat Sinner in Australia. I know he lost to
Yeah,
okay. Like, this is a mute point. Nadal, Djokovic, Murray, Federer, and Tsonga, and Soderling, and Delpo, and Gasquet, and Verdasco, and Ferrer are all better. They're all better. There is no question. Okay?
yeah, we've been through a weak generation in terms of the secondary competition. I think in this tournament, we're kind of seeing some of it rise back again finally, which is what's been so exciting about it.
Yes.
But yeah, I 100% get that. And our last dropper log, we had been talking about Sabalenka Osaka, but we'd already discussed. Eric and I both kind of agree that the winner of that match is into the finals. They play next round. But a storyline we haven't touched on yet that's actually really disappointing and frustrating, but it's still going to make us laugh. Dropper lob. Alexander Blocks has a case suing Roland Garros after slipping on a tarp in practice with Fonseca and getting an injury that forced him to withdraw from the tournament.
Listen, the tarp is I don't know if it's a drop or lob, but the tarp is a really bad thing, and it ruined David Goffin's career because he
It's
got
a lob.
injured.
Then you're agreeing that he has a case.
Yes, he has a case. And it also happened to Katie Bolter and another female player. It's really bad. And there needs to be a solution to it. And, I don't know what that is, but,
So
it's
is
not
it
great.
because I didn't get to see this clip yet? Is it just like basically there's a tarp like back behind the court, so when you if you go too far back, you slip on it and basically
Correct.
like
Correct.
because I had that happen. I was playing on clay a couple of days ago, and like the court had just been watered by the fence, and I went back too far and immediately did the splits. I'm not athletic. I was luckily okay. But
Yeah.
it's definitely scary when you lose your footing and your leg just snaps in any which direction. Also, really disappointing. Blocks a guy that just destroyed Felix and Straits recently. Been having some really good results and showing how this draw opened up. Who knows how far he could have made it in this tournament? And another young name that I think maybe can cause a little bit of disruption here and there. Big serve, big ground strokes.
Yeah.
But that was it for the dropper lob. So you want to make a comment on your tan real quick? We'll give you a time right now. And any other remarks you have about tennis, I'll close this out.
No, listen, it just came in my head, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Mensick won the whole thing. Like, that guy's a dog, you know?
He is. I
He's
mean,
a
he's my
dog.
favorite player. You know that.
Yeah.
Um, his ground strokes are so incredibly clean. He's
Yes.
so incredibly well directed. He's got
Yes.
a huge serve. He has. I call. I mean, and you're gonna hate it because you just said it. I call him Mini Zverev.
Why would you ever compare anyone to Zverev? That's the worst
They're
thing you could
tall.
ever do
They
to
don't
someone.
move dynamically, but they move efficiently. They get to a lot of balls. They produce power easily off both
That's not a
wings.
compliment. That's not a compliment. Please
I
don't do Mensick like that, man.
I don't know. Rublev's a favorite in this next match,
That's a
but
crazy. These. Okay, I'm gonna finish with this. All right.
all right.
These people who set the lines, if it's computers or it's a mastermind, they don't know anything. They are not watching the tennis matches like me and you are watching them, and they don't know anything about tennis. Okay. And number two, I don't want to hear it from these people that are saying, oh, Wembayana, Wemba my
Wembanyama.
ass, Wemba my ass, bro. You play 40 minutes in an indoor air-conditioned setting on a team with timeouts.
Teach
Six
him how to
hours,
serve and watch him play tennis, bro. He's
six
spiking that shit like
hours
John Isner.
outside, mental, physical, emotional, legs, upper body, anaerobic, aerobic. Come on, man. Tennis is
Yeah.
king. And that's it.
Tennis is a great sport. I think we're going to wrap up right here. I'm Nathan. It's my co host, Homelander. Had a great episode today. See you guys soon.
Peace.